rainbow staircase, and bright ugly men riding flying lizards. At first, Eric can't believe it, but he discovers along with his friends that King Spar is trying to get the Dawnstone. But little do they know, Spar has bigger plans. This book may be for problem-solving wizards and journeys.
Neil Armstrong was the first human being to step foot on the moon. When he returned, he was very famous. That leads to the end. That is my favorite part. You will have to read this book. I recommend this book to all of you. You can find it in Miss Flatman's library. Pirates Past Noon is a great book about Jack and Annie. Their luck isn't going to be about theirs. For long, they wanted to find an adventure, but not about pirates. You can find this book in Miss Fortman's class. Try and see if you can check it out.
Hi, my name is Bridger, and the book I read for this week was The I Survived Sinking of the Titanic. And in this book, 10-year-old George Calendar goes on a trip on the Titanic with his sister and aunt. They don't worry, because they think it's unsinkable. Until one night, that is proved wrong. Do you know what happens? If you do, will George and his family survive, or will they not?
I Am John F. Kennedy is a book where it tells John F. Kennedy's life from beginning to end. It has a lot of facts and it inspires me with lots of description. You can find this book in the public library. I hope if you read this, it'll inspire you too. LeBron James is a very interesting book. This book tells you about a famous basketball player in his early life and how he became pro. This book really inspired me because he came to hard times but never gave up. One thing I thought that was really cool that he was 3 when he made a slam dunk. There's so much more, but if you want to find out more about LeBron's career as a basketball player, you better pick up this book. Whoa. Slam Dunk for LeBron James. Dean, Josh, and Ruth Rose went to the zoo when all of a sudden the mama panda slams against the gate. What would make a mama panda do this? You can find Panda Puzzle in the school library.
Stink the Incredible Shrinking Kid by Megan McDonald. Every day, Judy, Stink's older sister, measures him in the morning. Every morning, he is the same height, 3 feet and 8 inches tall. But then, he asks her to measure him at night, which he usually doesn't do. And he shrunk. He was 1/4 inch shorter. To him, it was the end of the world. I promise that you will not leave this book unsatisfied. Stink the Incredible Shrinking Kid can be found in the school's library.
Freckle Juice by Judy Bloom. Have you ever wanted something so bad you'd try anything to get it? Andrew daydreamed about having freckles like Nikki Lane's. Sharon overheard Andrew saying he wanted freckles, so she offered Andrew a recipe that would give him freckles for 50 cents. Do you think the recipe will work? Do you think he will get freckles, or will he look like a giraffe? You will have to read the rest of the book found in Miss Fortman's library to find out.
Loch Ness Monster, going home with you soon. Nessie will be what you will never forget. This book will put the Loch Ness Monster in your mind forever. That's why she will come home with you soon. For this book, let's dance.
I read Bigfoot Doesn't Square Dance. I found this in my school library. There is Melody, Eddie, Liza, and Hallie. They are taking a field trip to Ruby Mountain. When they get up there, there is Mr. Squash. He teaches them how to square dance, but Eddie thinks he's Bigfoot.
Have you ever read Frog and Toad? It's about where Frog helps Toad with his problems, like when he shrinks his hat so Toad can wear it.
Stink and the Great Guinea Pig Express is about Stink when he goes to his friend's house to build the Great Wall of cereal boxes. But when they're building, they hear something. I think you should read this book because it's funny. You can find it in Miss Portman's room.
Dinosaurs Before Dark. You can find this in the 3SP library. Before Jack and Annie find out the treehouse takes them to dinosaur time, now they have to get home before dark or they'll become dinosaur dinner. Bad Kitty. Bad Kitty Meets the Babies about where Uncle Murphy comes over and he comes and has to babysit the dog and Bad Kitty. When his real parents come home, a big surprise comes, and his whole family comes over to meet it.
Okay. Have you ever read Geronimo Stolt and Cave Mice? Well, if you haven't, you should. It's fun to read because some of the words are colorful and written in different ways. In this book, there's a discovery of a moving mountain, or is it? Read this book to find out what happens in the rest of the story. You can find this book in your local library. This book, Twister on Tuesday, Jack and Annie get stuck with a big scary bully. Then they get stuck facing a twister. How will they get out of it? How will they get out of this situation? You will not leave this book without being unsatisfied, without care.
Fantastic Mr. Fox. Fantastic Mr. Fox gets all his food and water from 3 farmers. But when they plan to kill him, they try to starve him. Will they starve or will they live? I personally recommend this book to all kids of 3rd grade.